So I was just sitting here and I was watching a podcast, and I've been I've been really sitting down and thinking a lot about what's happened in the last several months with me. And now I'm going back even further because there's always a story, there's always a puzzle there. And I have to put those pieces together. Why am I like that? Why can't I just be quote unquote satisfied with where I am now? I absolutely am. I absolutely am. I'm blessed. I'm grateful. I'm thankful to feel the way I do today. Every day I get a little bit better. If it's 0.5%, 1/4%, 1%, whatever it is, I'm getting better. I'm dealing with certain symptoms still, but as you can tell, I'm up, I'm moving around, I'm prepping some food here. I'm getting ready for the week ahead, and I'm doing it early because tomorrow could be a busy day, being Sunday. It's nice out and I don't want to sit in the house because I've sat in the house for 4 fucking months. But I was watching a podcast, and Ed Milet, if you guys don't follow him, he's amazing. He has a doctor of psychology on there, and it's one of his latest episodes. I'll link it, so don't worry. I'll link it in the story that I put up from here because I think it's so incredibly important to watch this and what she's saying. And I haven't finished it, but man, it explained me and so many people that I know and so many of my clients to a T. Now, we know the term high performing, high achieving. That term doesn't come without its downfalls, its disadvantages, because we function at such a high speed and we're going constantly that it doesn't leave much room for us to sit, relax, and really take in what we're building, what we're creating, what we're doing, what we're in the midst of. And because of that, ultimately what's going on is that she's describing it as, and it's a new term that I've never heard, hedonia. And that's how you pronounce it. How you spell it, I don't know. That's why I'm going to link the podcast for you. You got to check it out. It's absolutely amazing. About 20 minutes into a 60-minute episode, and what I've gotten so far is just amazing. So this term is coined for those people who are high achieving, high performing, but don't have joy or happiness in their lives. It's literally, it's the silent depression is what she's calling it. Man, that hit. Because a few months ago, when I was going through all this and I was at the darkest point, I was in a place where I was anxious, I was depressed, talked to a therapist, and she had put me in that classification, and I had never answered questions like that before in my life. And I thought back and I said to myself, I'm like, I've never really been depressed. And I would have never answered these questions in this way hadn't it been for what I was just going through. But the way this was broken down was that this is the silent depression, where it comes in the middle of the night and it robs you of your joy and your happiness. Because as high achievers, as high performers, we're constantly looking for, quote unquote, the next hit. We're not satisfied. We're moving at such hyper speeds that we're not slowing down to be grateful and thankful in the middle of it all and be blessed to know that we have some amazing stuff going on in our lives. In the last 4 weeks, I've been rewiring myself, my habits, my rituals, my ceremonies, getting back into more of my teachings that my mentors laid upon me. So thank you, because I'm going back to the rituals of shamanic practices that I've taught many clients, that I've worked with many clients on. And it's such a great way to gain insight on yourself. But not only that, connect with yourself that much deeper, okay? and connect with the world around yourself. When you do that, when you connect with yourself, you automatically connect with the world around you. So I've been rewiring myself. And one of the biggest things that I do now is Monday through Friday, when I get home from work, there's no work. When I step foot into this house, there's no work. Now, I'll say that with a little caveat. I might be working from home one day, and I obviously, that's the caveat, right? So I could be doing Zooms, a call, a meeting, whatever it is. So, but ultimately, when 5, 6 o'clock hits, unless there's a workshop happening or I'm teaching or something to that effect, I'm off. And that's not something I had ever done before. The laptop would get onto my lap, on the couch, in the bed. I'd be at the dining room table. I'd be on my phone. I'd be posting something. It was the worst thing that I could possibly ever do for myself. And I know many of you listening to this right now are probably saying to yourselves, whoa, this sounds really, really familiar. Yeah, if this is you, this is where you need to take that time, take a step back and assess. Because where I ended up, the high functioning, high performing, the high stress, the high chaos situations, the silent killer of depression that robbed me of my joy and happiness in the middle of the night, where do you think that came from? From all of those behaviors that were laid upon me for years, and that I was just taught that I gotta validate. I gotta perform at this level so that I validate myself and my purpose and what I'm doing. It's so not the right way to go about things, okay? And that's kind of what I'm getting at with each and every one of us. Not just myself, not a few of you out there, but there's many of us that are in that classification, high achieving, high performing. And we need to find out the whole approach to ourselves, which I've had to do because for years, I worked on my physical self, and then I broke from that, and I worked on my mental, emotional, spiritual self, and then I broke from that a little bit, and I went back to working on the physical aspects of things. And the truth of the matter is, those are so important to work together as one, because that's the full picture of health for yourself, okay? One of the biggest things that we're realizing is that, and not realizing, they've known it for a very, very long time, that your gut is your second brain, first brain, probably. And amazing that this down here affects this. Think about that. Distance, but yet they are clearly working in unison. One is making the other one feel a certain way. Your mood changes. That's happening in the gut. Okay? So, scientists, they're all figuring this stuff out. All right? And they've known this for a long time. What I'm getting at is the full picture of health, the full picture of joy, the full picture of happiness. Start rewiring yourself. And if you need help doing it, we're here to help you. I'm literally going to say to you that that's our job. We're here to help you. Now look, at one point, I was helping everyone else, right? I went through these phases, and we do, as coaches, we do all this stuff. We go and we help everybody else. And I'm sure everybody that's listening out there in some way or form, you're listening to this and you're saying, well, yeah, I'm that person. I fix, I'm helping everybody else. And steaming some vegetables here on the stovetop. And I'm helping everybody else, but I'm not helping myself in the process. Well, that's fine. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. That's a fucking high achieving, high performing attitude right there. And that creates the stress and the chaos in your life. And I promise you, if you go the length with that, at some point you're gonna break. You're gonna hit rock bottom. So don't hit rock bottom. Don't get to where I got to, where I had to literally pick myself up off the ground physically, where there were days where I just didn't want to move, and not for the sake of depression, but for the sake of depression and because my body was aching so horrifically. So don't let that silent killer kill you. Tackle it head on now. Start doing things that are going to put you in a better state of mind now. And if you need the help, contact us. We're here to help you.